Hello and welcome to the Michael Harding podcast. You're very welcome. I also call it the Laughing Buddha podcast because, in a sense, I thought laughing would give a sense of lightness and Buddha would give a sense of wisdom, and it might attract the right tone for what this is. I'm not a teacher, I'm only sharing my story, but my story is so much tied up with faith, with the tradition of Buddhism and the tradition of Christianity. I have such a kind of a joy and reverence for many, many different religious traditions. In fact, the act of being religious is a human thing, and it is the heart and soul of joy for me. So I'm sharing that with you. And I thought today to just go along with the Laughing Buddha podcast, I would do one podcast visually to give you a sense of where I am. And all I can say is, I'm in heaven. Heaven is everywhere when you look out your window. And when I look out my window, that's what I see. And I'll bring you around here because here in the room, I have a little shrine. That's a little shrine that, now, I just put it up there and it just sits there. But it has a presence in the room which gives me great energy. It's not that I'm kind of sitting, meditating in front of it or anything. I don't do that. I forget about it for weeks. But it's still there. And it still has a great energy to it. And this is the kind of shrine that be recommended, if you want to try and develop sort of a Buddhist practice. Well, they say put up a shrine. Now, what we have here in the very centre is Tara, the white Buddha. The white Tara is the female Buddha. And then above her, you'll see I've put a tiny little picture. And it's a very, very cheap thing now. I have that for about 20 years. And that's Manjushri. Manjushri is the Buddha of wisdom. And you can see he's a sword in his hand. And the Buddha of wisdom cuts through false untruth with a sword, because he is wisdom. And then below that you have this beautiful, powerful tanka which I got in India many years ago. And that's the female, the Buddha of compassion, who is very much like the mother of God in Tibetan culture. So below that then, I have the root guru. The root guru is he's Song Kappa, Guru Song Kappa, 15th century, and he was the philosopher who really reinvigorated Tibetan Buddhism. And he was the guy who reinvigorated into a structure, a simple structure that could teach people the entirety of all the sutras and all the stuff that's in Buddhism, and it could be done in a very simple way, like stages of a path. So you go on from point 1 to point 2 to point 3, very simply, and he was the guy who did it. And he was the head of what was called the Gelugpa school, and the present head of that school is your man, the Dalai Lama. That, of course, is a picture of him as a young man. He's a very elderly man now, but you can see him on the internet very often. And across from him then, you'll find a picture of my own teacher, the Panchen Utral Rinpoche. What else is on this that's important? Well, here is important because what you put on a shrine, if you're ever making a shrine, number one, you try and get a little image of the Buddha. You don't have to have it as big as that. And you get a little thing like that, which is a text. Now, I have that text. It's the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And that's what I put there. And underneath it, I have kind of notes and various things, just important notes that I have that made a difference in my life. I'll give you an example. That'd be one of them there. They're only sheets like, when you'd be doing workshops, important issues about, the teaching and the teacher. You see the way the teacher is always an important part of Tibetan Buddhism. And then the preliminaries, the things I'm talking about at the moment, that the importance of recognizing that, death is certain and the time of death is uncertain, all that kind of reflecting on these kind of basics is the sort of preliminaries to Buddhist practice. And then Buddhist practice always begins with sort of taking refuge. And there you see at the bottom, chapter 6, refuge. So you reflect on the meaning of life. You reflect that life is very short and very uncertain. You reflect on the fact that there's karma, which is the way that your actions have consequences. And when you reflect on those long enough, you come to a conclusion: I need to grasp the essence of life. And how do you grasp the essence of life? And of course, from a Buddhist point of view, the answer is be Buddhist. Be Buddhist is not necessarily then a religion. Be Buddhist is sort of to test various hypotheses, test out various practices, and see, does Buddhism work for you? If it doesn't work for you, you discard it. If it does work, use it. And in that sense, what they're testing out is mind training. So it's like psychotherapy, or it's like various exercises, yoga that you might be doing mentally with your mind. And that's really what Buddhism is about. So it's not a revealed religion, it's a psychotherapy. It's a way of being mindful, it's a way of being present in the present moment, and that can be very, very powerful, very healing. And the way that's done is when you reflect on the preliminaries, and we've been doing that now for 4 sessions, and now we move on to this moment where, after reflecting on these preliminaries, which is the certainty of death, that it will come, but you don't know when it'll come, that your actions have consequences, that you develop karma, and that you could be stuck with bad karma, negative karma, and die with it, and that's not a good, healthy thing. It's not a thing you'd want to do. So you start to say, well, I need to grasp the essence of life to liberate myself from karma, which can express itself simply as depression or unhappiness or negativity or the dysfunctionality of your life and other relationships. So to put it all together in a healing and holistic way, what do? I grasp the essence of life. I say to myself, I'm going to take refuge in the Buddha. Okay, well, what does that mean? And the first thing it means is prepare a shrine. Prepare a shrine is a very big word now. And by the way, this is a very big shrine because it's a big room. This is a huge, big old shed. You see, rafters. This is a big ancient room. So I can afford to have this big corner here. It's an old shelf. But you would be doing the same thing in a tiny, tiny corner on your bedside pedestal or in the windowsill or anywhere. Just put yourself up a little image of the Buddha. I chose the female Buddha of compassion. It's like the motherliness of God. I choose that, and then I choose. These are my own choices, you know. You can do what you want. This is this is something you use your imagination to work with. So I put up Manjushri. I really love the idea of wisdom. That there is a Buddha, there is an enlightened mind which is pure wisdom, and that it's in all of us. It's in the heart if you go in there. And then I put up the teacher. Was the head of the Gelugpa school, and this fella's the man that I have met on many occasions, and therefore I call him my teacher. And so in that, and that's the originator, the philosopher who began the Lam Rim teachings, put them all together. So I have the whole thing kind of set up like that as a kind of a root, a kind of a foundation space in my life. So if I'm out digging the garden or if I'm eating my dinner, it's almost like in my unconscious mind, this space is always open. And if I was using it properly, if I decided that for November I will try and do 10 minutes meditation every day, I would sometimes use these bowls. Now, I wouldn't often use them, but you use them bowls as water bowls. You fill, there's 7 of them, you fill them with water, and you put them along here, and you would fill them as an offering to the Buddha. Okay. And you might light a little candle, a little night light here, or whatever. So basically that's about it. And I'll just read you finally. One of the things I have here is like that. That's a prayer. It's the the 8 verses of mind training. Now, mind training. It's all about mind training. That's the thing to keep aware of in Buddhist practice. So we'll go through this just for a minute now. With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings who surpass even a wish-granting jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely clear. So, in other words, my determination will not be to sort of gain enlightenment for my own benefit, but to gain it in order to benefit other people. So that if you become enlightened, if you become a wise person, then your wisdom will help other people. And that's the determination with which you try and look and encounter every other next person that you meet. That everything you're doing is to become enlightened. To achieve Buddhahood is to simply become enlightened, because the word Buddha means enlightened mind, bodhicitta, enlightened heart. And so you'd hold them supremely clear, meaning that you hold them supreme and in clarity, that the other person becomes the focus of the encounter rather than you. So you're not in the situation like, what am I getting out of this situation? What do I want? You're actually looking at the other person thinking, what do I need to do for the other person so that they are happy in this situation? It's very, very close to Christian ideals or civilized ideas. It seems sensible. Now let me read another little bit of it. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest amongst all and respectfully hold others to be supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions, I will learn to search into my mind, and as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly face and avert it. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as if I had found a precious treasure difficult to find. You know, that's a really wise way when you're encountering somebody difficult and you're having to use a lot of patience to listen to them, that it helps you practice patience. There's a way whereby difficult relationships or difficult moments in life can become stepping stones to you becoming a stronger person. And this can all happen in very small ways. When others out of envy treat me badly with abuse, slander and the like, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. In other words, let go, don't hold it. Don't fight back. You know, somebody slights you, somebody ignores you at the dinner party, somebody doesn't give you the right seat. Let it go and wish them well. It's a kind of a non-violence, really, isn't it? When the one whom I have benefited with great hope hurts me very badly without reason, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. And that's to say that everybody that we do love, every so often, will do something that hurts us. There's no doubt about that. We're only human. You're human, your partner is human, I'm human, our children are human, and there are times where they will do things that hurt us. Okay. I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide, because again, the difficult moment is teaching you to be a better person. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness. directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of my mothers. That's a big heavy one. That's to do with seeing everybody as a mother being. You know, that when you encounter somebody that you dislike, if you imagine that you have lived a countless infinity of lives, and so have they, so there must be one life within it, within the stream of endless lives. There must be one life where this person in front of you was your mother and did everything compassionately as a mother does to help you be born and to grow up. Maybe this person was, a mother being to you, not necessarily as a human, but maybe you were, a bird in a nest. And when you begin to think those thoughts, they expand your mind in relation to the person in front of you. You don't get tunneled into a negativity that you can't stand the fecker. You actually start to think compassionately and gratefully that maybe this person could be imagined or believed as your mother. The dynamic of that is, there's nothing magic about this. This is simply psychiatry. This is simply mind training. Training your mind to come out of the tunnel of negativity that feels sometimes like a train hitting the wall at the end of a tunnel. It's a mind training that allows you to zoom out to a wider view, to see the dynamic of your own self with the other person, to stand outside your own negativity, to be aware of yourself, so that your mind, a little bit of your mind is watching your mind, and a little bit of your mind is looking at yourself in the dynamic and thinking, I'm getting very negative with this person. This person is getting very abusive to me. And when you stand outside it like that, you become stronger, more patient, and wiser. And then finally it says at the end, I will learn to keep all those practices undefiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as like illusions, I will be released from the bondage of attachments. Now, illusions, to see all phenomena as like illusions is extraordinary. It's to pull back from the sense that everything is real. Everything is real, of course it is, but there is a way whereby it's not 100% real with the intensity that we put on it. Everything is not totally real that grips you into its claws. If you let it do that, life will eat you up. But everything happens in your life like illusions, as if you were in a dream. When you look out, you're dreaming. When you walk around, you're dreaming. And so when you come in conflict with somebody, and there's an intense sense of you're a train hitting a wall with the other person, and it becomes so real that you get caught into it. Its claws are dragging you into the reality of this dynamic, this kind of negative energy. If you pull yourself back into your mindful state and try and experience everything around you as if in a dream, then you find wisdom. You find wisdom. And you also find that the motherliness of God, as we might say in Christian terms, you find the presence of the compassionate, motherly Buddha is inside you. Her energy begins to fill you from the crown of your head to the toes on your feet. Her energy fills your spine and your limbs, your arms and your legs, fills your heart and your eyes, and you become the compassionate one. You're able to see the other person as trapped in their own negative karma. You're able to understand that maybe at some stage in the infinite history of endless rebirth, this person was once your loving mother, but now this person is simply struggling with their own negative karma. And so your function becomes, how can I help this person? What can I say to liberate this person in this moment from the suffering that they're experiencing? Because when somebody is being negative, you're simply hearing their pain. When somebody is angry, you're simply hearing their pain. When somebody is tormented by stuff, it is their pain. And so when you become the wise, motherly Buddha, when Tara fills you with her presence or energy, then you begin to even see yourself through the eyes of Tara, compassionately. And you become compassionate to your own self. You become a mother to your own wounded self. You become a mother to the other person's wounded self. And that, I think that's Buddhism. That's, at least, I hope this has been some tiny help in supplementing the Laughing Buddha 1, 2, 3, and 4, those 4 meditations that are on the site. And I'm just putting this one up to add some visuals to them. And I'll be doing more of that in the next week. Well, as I always say, thank you for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.